So, how we feeling after that little cliffhanger?
Please, we're so hungry. It's been months.
Shh. Good, pobrecito. Have some bread. Don't be a baby. Last we left off, the party fended off some thugs on the road to Alamestria. They all had an hourglass tattoo somewhere on their body that Popper kindly borrowed. But now that we're back together, Visira's having the most trouble calming down. While the party took a bit to find the snag fang, she spoke to Victor alone about it, with the kobold promising that the contents of their talk would remain a secret until a later date. When we settle down for the night, Flea takes a second shift over when she hears something approaching from the underbrush. A massive, pure black werewolf with glowing yellow eyes and a sneer spread across his maw. But this creature wasn't like Flea. No, this was the vile creature that people expected Flea to be. Before she had the chance to say anything, he shushed her quietly, grabbing Popper in his sleep and threatening to crush the goblin should she make any sudden moves. "What do you want?"
Want?
The werewolf introduces himself as Thorn, and warns her about the direction we're headed. Seems that Alamestria has a very special visitor that they call Wolfsbane, who's been hunting down werewolves left and right. He lost his own pack not long ago, and warns if she continues on, she's more than likely next.
Take care, Pop.
Good morning. Oh, by Palor's glow! Despite Flea's insistence on what happened, there's weirdly no tracks to prove it, which sets her off as it suggested that maybe it was just her imagination. Well, at least by everybody except Popper. They might have not gotten along much, but if anyone knows that bad gut feeling, it's him. His belief in her puts Flea at ease, and after a surprisingly calm talk between them, she attempts to shift out of werewolf form. For 4 hours. Yeah, it doesn't go well. I think I might be able to help. With some mental directing and powerful magic, Garrett gets her to focus on a single, blurry image in her mind. And after a few moments... What?
Whoa, do it again!
It's okay, I'm just as mad, but the signs were there. With the fear of her being hunted down lessened, we all hop in again and head to Alamestria. After some more playful talk, like finding out everyone's ages, Popper and Visira end up connecting on bits of their past. Though, she finds it odd just how well-traveled he seems. They're both a bit dodgy on the subject, but this time Visira is the one who pushes. You know, I've never met a goblin like you.
Surprised you met any at all. With how ruthless tribes could be, I didn't exactly meet new people till I left.
Yes, about that. How exactly did you manage to get away if they are as bad as the stories say?
To be honest, I don't know. A lot of the stories are actually pretty tame compared to my old tribe. We'd rip up whatever towns we could, and our numbers were pretty big too, but every day it was the same shit. Over and over, just constant raids and pillaging. And I got kicked out of some of it, but it was really repetitive, and I was never really part of the main group.
Oh?
Yeah, I was a cobbler. I'd go in, find some new shoes, fix them up, and fit the strongest warriors the works. But I don't know. One day I just kind of woke up in the middle of a raid, took a pair for myself, and slipped away, never looking back. It's stupid, but sometimes I wonder if it was really the right move.
Considering your previous occupation, I'd say it wasn't a bad one.
Oh, come on. Cobbling ain't that bad.
That's not...
And what was it like for you growing up?
Oh, far more pleasant. My family was actually rather well off, and my parents had all these aspirations for me and my siblings, but they never were too harsh about them.
Nice. So what did you end up doing before you were a barbarian?
It's not important, but I'd like to think my job now is good and better than most things.
Yeah, just some shitty first jobs. Hey, Visira, I know you're big and beefy and probably don't want to talk about the last fight, but if it ever happens again, I want you to at least have that.
Oh, thank you, Popper. Here.
Thanks, Visira. Hey, look out the window! We're here!
Sure enough, there it was. Alamestria. And Danny. Once we arrived, Garrett gave us a history book with 3 prominent locations to check out. The rustic and historic standing point of Wormwood Street, the famous Riverside Market that Flea already feels a strange familiarity to, and the highly hospitable Autumn's Haven Inn. I'm counting on you guys to get back with news quickly. Victor joins Flea at the Riverside Market while Popper and Visira head to the inn, and what each party finds is pretty jarring. Victor and Flea find the river is untouched, the water calm with no signs of previous market boats or humanoid traffic. Flea gazes into the water to look. She was looking... Make a con check.
Flea? Flea!
Frantically, Victor scrambles to find something to calm her down. He begins to gather...
Vidia.
That looks bad. Hey,
Vidia.
look at me. Please.
Run!
The werewolf snatches Victor and dashes for the forest over fallen logs and through the trees, grazed by another bolt, but finally managing to find cover at last. They waited there for hours, barely breathing, motionless, and when they eventually do speak...
What happened back there? Why did you change back? I think I've remembered some of my past. And my name? My name's Vidia.
Well, hey, that's a very pretty name.
Thanks, Victor.
The two manage to get back to town with the worst stealth rolls possible on the way back to Garrett's, but by some miracle they aren't harmed on the way there. While Garrett apologizes for his Modify Memory spell not being strong enough to withstand whatever was triggered, Flea insists it's fine. Victor charges on to go ask people around town about the figure they encountered, leaving her and Garrett to take some time to calm her down. Hours earlier, we cut back to Viscera and Popper on their way to Autumn's Haven Inn. It's a place known for taking in people even if they had no money to pay, but getting there is a bit more of a shock than seeing a quiet river. In this place, we find a huge black building with a tacky golden sign reading, Radiance, and a huge line of fancifully dressed people waiting to get in.
Oh, I know how to get in fast.
You have to be shitting me right now. Despite this brilliant plan, we are able to find out that Radiance is the most happening spot in town. Live music, drinks, gambling, dancers, parties the likes of which people could only dream of. But when asked about Autumn's Haven Inn, there's a pause and great confusion. After all, Radiance has been there longer than anyone can remember. Popper does find a way to sneak into the back, but he's found out pretty quick, so Viscera is left bribing their way into the front of the line, while Popper takes on a new disguise. And once inside, God, it's like nothing we've ever seen. A club in full swing, people happily gambling and living it up in the flashy casino. Popper is beyond mystified, but we very quickly learn just how overstimulated and awkward Viscera is around big parties. So, in an effort to ease her nerves, Popper takes her over to the bar, where we meet a very interesting bartender. A human woman with extremely pale skin, bleach blonde hair, and blue eyes that stare broadly out in the crowd. And our next NPC, named, Oh geez, this is gonna get complicated. I might need some help with this. She bitterly pours us some drinks, but seems to perk up when she notices the book desperately clutched in Viscera's claws. Seems Garrett stopped by some time before us, and the bartender recalls just how nice a person he really was. Unlike most of the guests here. It's pretty clear she doesn't want to be here, so Viscera takes the time to ask her why she chose this of all places to work.
I made a promise to a friend.
I don't know. Seems rather self-serving to put a friend in such a position like this.
Oh yeah, friends are the worst, right? Anyway, look. Bottom line, it's not fun working here. But Garrett was a cool guy. He came in, asked how I was doing. We had a quick chat, but I haven't seen him in a while. Boss doesn't exactly get along with him, so I think that might be a big part of it.
Who's the boss?
You mean Sal? He's in the back. And this place isn't an inn. It's an experience. TM. That's the tagline we're going for. But, what's the inn you heard about like?
When we talk to her about it, there's a visible shift in her demeanor, even a ghost of a smile, though she still claims she knows nothing about it, and to ask Saul.
Well, thanks. By the way, I'm Popper, this is Viscera, and you are?
I'm Margret.
Are you, sure about that?
Yes.
We walk in to find a half-elf seated in the back room, dark, slicked back hair and glaring eyes glittering in the intense lights. His fancy black suit with red trim clearly flaunts his status, adding to his very posh demeanor. The calculated smile on his flawless tan face immediately rubs us the wrong way, but nothing puts us on edge quite like the person sitting beside him, with a wrapped-up hand and a shitty smile on his.
Hi, we're looking for Mr. Sal.
My small friend. My enemies call me Sal. Everyone else knows me as Salazar at your service.
Popper manages to play it pretty cool, sticking with the story that they seem to be a little turned around. But when asked why they're really here, he makes a deception check and,
We're here to sell exotic dancers.
Salazar seems unfazed, though, and more than anything, interested. So Popper gets taken on a tour, but is asked to leave his bodyguard behind. With the captain. Visera storms out of the bar instead, so Popper's left with Salazar while she gets to bond with our new pal. While the bartender doesn't know the captain or his crew, she notes that he's been showing up more recently and admits that it's people like him who are muddling up the city recently. While she pours herself a drink, Victor makes an appearance.
Oh, are you Visera's new friend?
Yes! Yes, I am. I'm, what did I say before? Margret! Yeah, that's right.
Victor catches Visera up on what just happened, and Visera huffs to explain their new situation and Popper's disappearance.
Oh no, how do you think that's going?
How do you think?
Oh, I'll go ask around, but what's your name again?
It's Millie. No, shit, it's Margret.
Okay.
I'll be back. Hey, do I know you from somewhere? Well, based off your hand, I'd say vaguely. Oh, that's real funny. I think it is. Well, listen, whatever your name is, why are you here? A little group can't come in and have a nice time. I mean, a group probably shouldn't stick their noses where it doesn't belong and take things that don't belong to them. What have we taken? I think you know damn well what you've taken from us. Through thinly veiled threats and gritted teeth, they leave on 2 points. We're not giving the disc back, and they're not going back to their boss empty-handed. Meanwhile, back with Popper and Salazar, things seem to have calmed down, with Salazar taking the disguised goblin in the back rooms to talk a little more about their investments. Most Popper can clock is the ominous blocked door before Salazar suddenly stops.
Do you take me for a fool?
Huh?
Do you take me for a fool? I don't know who you and that fucking dragonborn out front are, or where you came from, but I know who told you to come here. I know that pasty little son of a bitch told you to come and look things over here. Now you listen to me, Mr. Popper. I am a lot of things, but unobservant isn't one of them. And if you think you can play me, you are thinking wrong, my friend. So one entrepreneur to another, I would suggest not sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. 'Cause if you want to come here and ask all these weird questions about Radiance's history, perhaps you just focus on the now and think about how good things are, and how nice it is not to be dead in the middle of a road somewhere. Isn't that a pleasant thought, Mr. Popper?
Caught off guard, Popper can't bring himself to speak. Salazar merely huffs with amusement at this, thanking him for joining for the tour of its pride and joy before he's returned to his friends. We reconvene at Garrett's, who is less than pleased with our progress. Keep in mind, there were 3 locations we needed to look through, and we only managed to get to 2 before turning tail. Seeing the dejected looks around his living room, though, and remembering our experience, he does apologize, and we agree to work faster after some recuperation. Everyone catches each other up.
By the way, I remembered my real name. It's Vidia. Vadia? No, Vidia. Vadia. Just stick with Flea.
Oh, thank Cord! Everyone's agreed to see Wormwood first thing in the morning, with the exception of Flea staying back to hide just in case. Flea stays on the couch while the rest of us get a guest room where... Popper, can you hear me?
What?
That's right, boys, we got our first fantasy cell call! Turns out the rocks Alithia gave to Popper was his very own sending stone, which allows people to talk to each other mentally whenever they want. You hear, the tone of their voice, but not necessarily any of the sounds, so it's more like if you're reading text off in your head. Turns out Alithia went to Dawnvale, where Victor was first assigned his mission to Blackwood, but she wanted to call to check in on us. Then she drops that if Popper truly needs help in this dire situation, that she'd like to do what she can, willing to leave what she's doing behind if need be. And Popper's, well, let's just say it's something he really needed to hear after this little interaction with Mr. Adder. In the meantime, Flea dreams of a memory again, but this time it doesn't feel like hers. While she can't understand everything, she could process that she's sitting on a rocking chair on the porch of a small cabin near the woods, overlooking a scenic vista. She feels very happy and can hear a couple voices in the cabin who sound just as much so, before abruptly waking up the next morning. Before we go out, Visera does warn Flea not to get too chummy with Garrett, because we don't fully know the guy, but Flea's kind of flea on the topic, so we go out to investigate again. The trip to Wormwood Street reveals that it's now a bougie strip of sparkling shops, no longer very welcoming or homey, and Visera notices a sickly old man everyone's avoiding, so she goes over to give him 2 gold and a silver.
Not many people left in these parts. I don't know what's compelled you to do that, but thank you.
Don't worry about it. I hope we can make it better here, though.
Always remember, you are a good person, Visira Tracer. What did you...
Whoa, that was really nice of you. Hang on, I think I got some coin for him Where'd he? Huh. After that, they all split up to search for a while. Popper's gotten real comfortable with his hat of disguise, and this time decides to change into a dwarven man with black hair to explore the more comfortably and ask around about the person who's hunted Flea. But he finds no info and buys an expensive ornate sword for Silithia like he promised, and I gotta know, why are girls so expensive? Visira, in turn, learns about the legendary Wolfsbane, a man floating around from town to town hunting werewolves and other creatures of the night, which means we have an official title for Flea's vicious encounter. The group rejoins to discuss these findings, but Popper and Visira end up noticing someone stalking in the alleyway while Victor is distracted, someone watching too closely. The two of them break off to check, and as soon as they enter...
Ah! Son of a bitch! Visira, throw me up there!
Are you sure about that?
Throw me! Ugh. There they are! They're headed for Radiance!
Great, but how are you going to get down from...
Visira, catch me! Oh! I was gone for 6 minutes!
They heal Popper before heading over and confirming that they must have gone through some sort of secret entrance out back. Garrett and Flea get updated once we return, and he decides now is the time to go deeper.
Radiance!
Was closed from 4 a.m. to noon each day, and with the threat of strange glass looming over, it's time to kick things into high gear. Everyone's allowed one more long rest before we go, so we settle in, getting a peaceful sleep, with the only one seeming to have strange dreams being...
Daddy! Daddy!
Woof. Hey there, sweetheart. You tired of that dollhouse I built you already?
No, I came to see you.
Oh, is that so?
Hey, wake up. It's time to get going.
Right.